Hello and welcome. You tune into Market Fatafat with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Kanishka Sarkar. In the next half an hour, we'll take you through all the stocks that are in focus today, either on the back of news flow or on the back of technicals. But first up, let's take stock of how the market is shaping up at this juncture. Well, remember, Nifty was doing well. In fact, it is still managing to hold on to those 26,000 now 150 odd levels. It is trading up 0.7% very, very comfortably. It has, if you can see, it's very even, Steven. There's been no selling, no sell on rise that has happened till now. As far as Nifty Bank is concerned, that's been a net underperformer in today's trading session. But nonetheless, it's trading up 0.3%. Broader markets is what was on fire. In fact, Nifty Small Cap was trading up 1%, and it is still managing to hold on to those morning gains. Mid cap has also inched up a little. It has inched up to almost 0.9%, 1% gain that's coming in. As far as the mid cap is also concerned, it is at the highest point of the day right now. The market breadth is also very, very positive. It's a clear tilt in the in the favor of the advances today. India VIX though has spiked up 2.1% as of now. 9.73 is where India VIX sits at. But let's take a look at the top Nifty gainers. Then Shriram Finance, that's up 4.6%. There's Wipro, Infosys. In fact, the entire IT pack is doing very well. IT is the top sectoral gainer for the day. Persistent System, that's up 3.5%. You also have Tech M, Coforge. As far as the mid-cap IT names are also concerned, even they are performing very, very well today. Barring PSU banking names, all the other sectoral indices are in the green. PSU banks are very, very marginally in the red. That's the only sector that is still trading in the red. But a couple of other names or the stocks that are in focus, we have the defense stocks that are buzzing, whether it's MTAR Tech, whether it is GRSC, Apollo Microsystems. All of them are trading up 4 or 5% or thereabouts. We have Tata Motors CV, that's also up 3.5% on the back of a brokerage note by Nomura. And we also have the railway stocks that are in focus. We have Jupiter Wagons, IRCTC, RVNL, all are buzzing in trade. But we have an exclusive coming in on Shriram Finance, for which my colleague Harsh Sahita is now joining us. Harsh, tell us, what are you picking up on Shriram Finance as of now?
It's the largest deal. Well, it's the largest deal within financial services that we've seen in India, and it's a $4.4 billion deal. I have with me the Executive Vice Chairman of Shriram Finance, Mr. Umesh Revankar. So it's a pleasure and many congratulations on concluding this. How long has this been going on for?
See, we have been discussing on this with multiple people. It's not just the MUFG. But with MUFG, I should say nearly a year, we have been discussing on various contours of the business proposals. And I'm happy that it got concluded within this financial year.
But sir, it's a large one. What it will do is it will, Mr. Revankar, dilute your ROE to a certain extent. Of course, it will bring in efficiencies and we'll talk about that. But talk to us about the ROE trajectory. How much does it come off by? And where does it go and how quickly can it recover?
See, basically what happens is when the new capital comes in, your debt to equity ratio comes down. From around 4.3, it comes down to 2.6. Because ROA is the component of ROA and leveraging. So as the ROA improves, because the net interest margin will improve because our borrowing cost comes down. And also we believe credit cost also to come down to some extent. So as the ROA increases and the leveraging increases, the ROE will go up. We believe that it may come down to around 13.5 level in the next year. Then it should go up every year. And we should go back to the present level in the 5 years' time.
Okay. And talk to us about ROA. You've spoken correctly that ROA will likely go up. So 3.1% is likely going to be a normalized ROA if I remove the liquidity buffers that you currently have, right? So given this transaction, how much does ROA go up by? And I'm not talking ROE because ROE will compress, but ROA, how much will that go up by just as a result of the margins going up on a standalone basis, on the current steady state basis?
I believe the ROA will go up to 3.4 to 3.5 level from 2.8 level. So that is the kind of improvement we can see then ROA.
Okay. And the credit rating upgrade, right? a basic credit rating upgrade will likely aid your margins by maybe 50 to 70 basis points, which should translate to maybe 35 to 40 basis points of profit after tax or ROA accretion, which will come to you. And therefore, firstly, confirm that for us. How quickly does that happen?
See, basically what we are looking at is, because of the strong balance sheet, our borrowing cost to come down, because our ability to manage the borrowing much better. And the credit rating upgrade is something which will follow. It will not happen immediately unless the rating agencies immediately look into it. So once the money will come in, then they look at the what it happens to the overall performance, and then they will confirm it. So there are two things. Stronger balance sheet will help us immediately, and credit rating will further help us. So overall, we believe over the period we should get around 100 basis point advantage.
Okay. 100 basis point over what period, sir? So that will also depend on how quickly your borrowing, your current borrowing, your liability matures. So give us a pulse of that. How quickly does your liability mature? Because that is what will translate to your ROA, and that will probably, I'm trying to understand how quickly your ROA gets to 3.5%.
Yeah, it's basically, see, if you look at our typical borrowing is 3 years, and average is 1.5 years. So 18 months, you can expect it to reach best.
And how quickly does the transaction close for you from now?
So it is subject to RBI and CCI approval, and we expect it to have it in this financial year, hopefully. That is the best possible timelines we have.
Okay, and therefore maybe 18 months from that point, you'll start to see nearly the entire, at least half your borrowing reprice within 18 months. Is that the right way to think of it?
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Okay. 40,000 crore, Mr. Revankar, is a large quantum of money. How quickly do you deploy that? Because that will sit on your balance sheet for a long period, further dragging some of your metrics. So I'm trying to get to the fact, how quickly do you deploy?
See, if you ask me that how long this cash will remain, cash will be deployed in a quarter time, because
Sure.
we lend around 45,000 to 50,000 crores in a quarter.
Sure.
But yes, it will increase our capital.
Yes.
So capital utilization will take time, maybe 4 to 5 years. But the lending or the cash utilization will happen in a quarter's time. Does not take a long time.
And are you already in conversation with some of the credit rating agencies? I'm sure there are already questions coming your way. Are you already in conversation, or it's going to take some more time?
So we have been in talking to them post demerger.
Okay.
Post merger.
Right.
What happened is that prior to merger, the Shriram Transport Finance was considered as a monoline business.
Yes.
And not having a multiple asset class was one of the reasons for not upgrading. And also that presence across the country was something for the Shriram City Union Finance. That was the reason, because more of a south focused. Once both combined, we felt that the credit rating upgrade should happen automatically. But it has already taken more than 2 years. Hopefully with this capital infusion, especially after strong balance sheet, it will happen faster.
How seriously are you looking at other lines of business outside of vehicles?
We are not really looking into other line of business, but because what happens is we have been focusing on asset financing, and vehicle financing is one asset which earns by itself. Vehicle, tractor, machinery, two-wheeler, they are really helping us to build a strong, very strong balance sheet and very strong credit profile of the customer. I think we'll continue with that.
Okay. And you know, there's been talk, or there's been conversation or expectation from MEFG that you're getting into green financing. And so how large will that portfolio be, if at all that were to come through, or will it just be marginal?
Right now it's marginal, because it all depends upon how EV will progress in India.
Sure.
We are quite comfortable with the kind of progress we have made in the EV financing. We are doing around 100 crores per month, and possibly it can double in the next year, because more and more people are moving towards electric vehicle, especially in the passenger. So I feel the transformation will happen in the passenger, and maybe government trying to bring in a policy which is conducive to EV also will have major impact on the public transportation. Majority of the public transportation, bus and cars will move towards EV, and therefore I feel that will, the speed of green financing will increase. Maybe next year it will double. After that, it may have much faster growth. So we had guided in the beginning when we announced the EV that 3 to 4 years we would like to reach 5,000 crores AUM. We are on track. First year we wanted to be very careful. We wanted to be very steady, then accelerate.
I'm not hearing what I want, Mr. Revankar. What I want to know is whether you will actually grow above the 15 to 70% threshold, which you've traditionally grown at. Because of so much capital and so much of equity capital, it gives you the bandwidth to do that. Would you grow at 20%?
Definitely, yes. We are targeting a 20% growth on overall AUM.
Yes.
Definitely, we feel that there is a lot of opportunity, especially on the commercial vehicle and passenger vehicle. If you look at, after the steep increase in the prices because of the Bharat Stage 6 implementation, many people have postponed buying or upgrading the vehicle, especially in the commercial vehicle. I feel all this upgradation will happen, and people will start buying, and that will really help us to grow faster. And I feel it is not just new vehicle purchasing, even upgrading from existing older vehicle to new vehicle also give us that kind of a scope and opportunity.
But that is just near term, right? So what gives you the confidence that that will sustain? Because the kind of capital you've raised is not for a 1 year period. It seems like it's a 6-7 year cycle that you're playing. So I'm trying to get to as to what gives you the confidence that a 20% growth rate for the next 5, 6, 7 years can sustain?
See, it all depends upon the economy. If the country's economy is growing, if you look at the last 2 quarters, India has been growing at 8% plus. And if this is sustained, because government is focused, government is making making it possible for the India to grow. They're building infrastructure. There is enough enough push given by the government for various sectors to grow. With this kind of environment, I feel even the regulator or RBI, if you see, they are also looking at pushing the growth by reducing the lending rate, in the sense, sorry, repo rate. That will definitely have a positive impact. So the growth should come from both consumer spending, government infrastructure spending, and also the logistics costs coming down, and India become more of an export hub, or many of the industries being built in India for export purpose.
So a 20% growth rate next 5 years is something that you would aspire for?
Yes, definitely yes.
Okay, so for me, viewers, that's the headline. 20% growth for the next 5 years on the base of 2.8 lakh crore. Second largest NBFC in the country saying that, and then suggesting that there'll be a 3.5% ROA on this business, which is significant. With that, it's a wrap on this conversation. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And viewers, thank you so much for watching. Of course, continued coverage here on ET Now. Stay tuned.